Okay, we are recording. We are here with our next stranger. Could you tell us your name and or what you'd like to be called, and a little about yourself?
My name is Ashton, and a little bit about me. I'm poor.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm funny. I'm in college, so that's why I'm poor. Um, no, and I'm being
Do,
harassed by my
yeah.
friends.
Does your friend want to join too?
Do you want to be in it? He doesn't. He's uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. So do you want to talk a little bit about like what it's like being a college poor person? Like what that's like?
It's really sad. I have $9 in my bank account, and that's it.
Why is like I don't know why is that like the normal thing these days? Like why is that the
Because
standard?
college is a scam and it's so expensive for no reason. Like, why do I have, especially because of COVID right now? I can go on a rant on this. I'm pissed about this. There's so many online programs that I had to buy this year that I would not have had to buy normally, but I had to buy because of COVID, and that's just like extra money that I normally wouldn't have had to pay for, but this year I had to because of it. They should have just let us do online, like not let us come in the fall and then let it all go away and then let us move in the spring.
Hmm.
But
What state do you live in?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, I think I have someone from Kentucky. So do you like the do you like school? Like what do you study? What do you like to do?
My major is pre-med psychological sciences.
Wow, cool. So like clinical psychology is kind of what
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
into?
yeah. Yeah, I want to
Cool.
be a psychiatrist when I'm older.
Very so like you like to you're interested in like the medication side of it, like understanding those.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Like the chemical brain.
what have you learned about that so far that you think other people may not know about?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm a freshman and I've only had 3 classes in it so far, so I haven't learned much. Today we talked about like prenatal development, which I'm not really sure how that correlates, but yeah, I could tell you about like the process of how a baby grows right now, but you'll have to get back on me for like the chemicals and stuff like that
Interesting.
aspect.
Well, like looking at kind of, I mean, to kind of just delve into it, like prenatal care, right? Like, in what ways do you think that the way that your parents kind of treated themselves affected how you grew up and how you developed as a baby?
Um, I guess it like I mean, it kind of like goes into like what they did with their body, like my mom, what she did with her body when she was pregnant with me, because like that can have big effects on it. And then like the way that they were raised, that kind of like shows them what they do and don't want to do with their kids. So,
Could you go into that more, like the idea of being, I don't know, being like caring for your body and caring for others and caring for yourself and how that also helps others, helps society in general.
I think it's like important to have like a role model, I guess, that you can look up to, like for how to care for your body and stuff, and like listen to your doctors and stuff, because they're like the trained professionals. They know what they're talking about. So like listen to them when they tell you what you need to do and not do during pregnancy and stuff like that. So I guess that would be like my biggest takeaway from it, if
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do you think that college is actually a scam? Like getting real. Do you think college is actually a scam?
I think college definitely has like I think it's important and it's like good if you actually do want to continue your education, but I don't think that it needs to be this expensive. I think that that's like the scam aspect. Like especially if you look at other countries, like it's not as expensive. So, and they're doing like the same stuff that we're doing. So that kind of like shows you.
Yeah. Is that something like that a lot of your friends talk about too, is like the student debt and what to do about it, or do you find that you're like, yeah, you're looking at your friend, you're like, first of all, it's really funny like you looking at your friend because you're like, "Oh my God, what the fuck did I get myself into?" And also you're like your friend is probably like, "Shut the fuck up. Like what are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, that's totally what they're saying.
yeah, exactly. But you know what? Like this is, I don't know, like I'm interested in hearing your thoughts of social media these days because I've been hearing a
Um,
lot of different thoughts of it, and what is your perspective on social media?
I think social media started off as a good thing because like it's a way that you can connect with people on the internet from around the world, especially like that's what we're doing right now. But unfortunately, it's kind of like developed into like a comparison game. Like all you do is just see people and like I don't know. I feel like it's a really bad like it's a tool that makes like a bunch of people really struggle with their self-esteem and stuff like that. It's kind of developed into something really bad. And you can kind of see that like YouTube, like back in 2009, like it was completely different than there is today. Like all there is today is just drama from YouTubers, which is like it's like they're social media people. Like that's so stupid. Why is their career just like drama, you know?
Yeah, people making money off of their own drama.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Jeffree
that's
Star.
wait, who is that? Say that
Jeffree
again.
Star.
You talk. I have no idea who that is.
You don't know who Jeffree Star
I have
is?
zero. No. Could you tell? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, show him a picture. Okay, Jeffree Star is like he's a huge beauty guru, and I'd say he got in like a big controversy. What, probably like in 2016, the first time, because like there was videos of him saying the N-word or something a long time ago. But then do you know who Shane Dawson is?
No, I have no idea who these.
This
Wow.
is Jeffree Star.
Wow.
Okay,
Hey,
Shane
whoever
Dawson,
your friend should jump in here because I'm interested in hearing all your perspectives. You know.
he said no.
That's fine.
Here's
That's
his
yeah.
knee. You can look at his
Oh,
knee.
okay. Oh, cool. I'll check his knee out.
Shane Dawson was a YouTuber, like he was one of the original YouTubers, like back in the 2009 era, and he got canceled recently because like he would post videos on YouTube of like doing blackface and like saying the N-word, and like it was back in 2009, which it was a different time then. Like no one really like called him out for it because they thought it was funny. But now that we've like progressed as a society to understand like the problems in the racist issue behind that, like now he's getting canceled for it. But he did like a documentary series with Jeffree Star on his YouTube, and basically that made everyone forgive Jeffree Star, and they were like, oh, he's not that bad of a person, and he has a really like huge makeup line. He's like super rich too. Like I don't know, he's probably like Jeffree Star. He's probably a billionaire, don't you think? Yeah, he's probably a billionaire. But yeah, but now he's getting canceled again because people are kind of being more intolerant of his like racist past, and he's like also like he got in drama. Do you remember like I don't know if you know this, but like the James Charles like drama with Tati Westbrook?
Dude, I have no idea who these people are.
Okay, James Charles is see, that's what I'm talking about. YouTube is nothing but drama. James Charles got in some YouTube beef with this other beauty guru named Tati Westbrook because Tati Westbrook has this thing called Halo Beauty. It's like vitamins. And James Charles got a sponsorship from Sugar Bear Hair, and he posted them on his Instagram, like promoting them. And then they were like, Tati was like, I feel so backstabbed and betrayed that he would go behind my company and support the competition and da-da-da-da-da. And then she like came out and said that he was grooming minors, which he's only like 19, so I don't know. And she was like, he'd force like guys who are straight to like do things with him, which turned out to all be fake. Like Jeffree Star, it turns out Jeffree Star was telling Tati to like say all this and stuff like that. So
With stuff like cancel culture and everything, right? Like I'm just like so fascinated with. I mean, it sounds like you're way more informed on the particulars of kind of like the drama, and it's just like our society is just filling up with hatred. It's just like
yeah.
so like for you, like how do you think we move forward and become less of a hate-filled society?
I'm not really sure because I feel like we made some progress because I remember like being on Tumblr when I was in like middle school, and there was a lot of like the same kind of like cancel culture, like a lot of micro labeling too, and like microaggressions. I feel like that's a huge problem. And it's like and like people are like glorifying like eating disorders on there and things like that, like making the things that are bad seem like they're good, and then the things that are good like seem like they're bad. I feel like there's a lot of that, like it's kind of reversed. And I feel like we made some progress when like the hype for Tumblr went away, but now that TikTok has come back, it's kind of like the same thing. Like there's a lot of like those same patterns that you saw on like negative like Tumblr that you can see on TikTok now too.
I feel like there's a disconnect between people and how they communicate, right? Like, what is the intention for even talking to someone? You know, like, are we listening to just try to be right all the time?
Yeah,
Or
I
are
feel
we?
arguments like I feel like talking nowadays is more so just listen to my point. Like, and a lot of people when they're talking, like they don't even like listen to what the other person's saying. They're just thinking of like what they should say next to like rebuttal what they just said, to get their point across. It's never like a compromise. It's all just listen to my idea.
No, that's a blue one. You can't stop.
So
No,
like how do we fix that? How do we change that, you think? Like how like I think, well, my thought is like is that we have to look at ourselves first and like improve ourselves, or at least be more present, I guess, like listen to understand more, I guess.
I think a lot of it will come with aging. I think a lot of it's generational things, honestly. Like if you just like there's a lot of political divide. I think that politics plays a lot into it, and like that's what makes people shut down so quickly. Like if you have a different opinion than them, then immediately it's just like the conversation will switch to hatred and like things like that. And I think that we as a society just need to like learn to be more open and understanding to other people's thoughts, if that makes sense. But I know that's definitely time, and it's not really like a feasible idea.
Well, I was talking to this girl who was a Donald Trump supporter, and I asked her, I have no idea what your political affiliation is, but what was interesting is I come from more people around me are liberal than conservative, I'll say. And this girl was saying that she's a Donald Trump supporter because she sees how much he gets bullied in the media. That people, all the things that people are saying, like, oh, his orange skin, his weird hair, he can't string a sentence together, right? And so that bullying by the media is the thing that is influencing her to be a Donald Trump supporter. She sides with the people who are being bullied. And it was so weird because it's just so completely different from how I see Donald Trump as a bully, right? But I think what's interesting is like that shows that an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. If the way that we confront Donald Trump is by calling him names and making fun of him, then we're just perpetuating that kind of a society, Yeah,
like we're no better than him, like calling Kim Jong-un names and stuff like that, I feel like that's a really, like, I don't know who she is, but I feel like that's a really bad way to base your like political beliefs on. Like you should be focusing on what he does and his policies. Like it's one thing if they're like bullying him because they don't agree with the decisions he made in his position as president, but like I can understand her thinking that it's unfair that he gets bullied like just for his appearance, because like I get that, but that's not a reason that you should support her candidate.
I agree with you. I agree. I think like if you look at the policy things, I agree that like looking at it rationally and like through policy perspectives is the most rational way to go about it. The problem is that we, as people who support that way of thinking, can't change their way of thinking.
Yeah.
Right? We can't say like that's wrong, because they could look at us and say we're wrong, and I mean, right? So like how do we
You go ahead.
No.
Okay. I was just going to say like a lot of it comes down to like at the end of the day, like you can kind of like narrow it all down to like certain like key issues that we're just never going to agree on. Like, for example, like pro-life versus pro-choice. Like at the end of the day, like you're not going to be able to likely not going to be able to change someone's mind on that, because that's such a huge topic, or same thing with like gun control. Like you're not going to really be able to like really convince someone to kind of change their opinion on something so heavy like that, especially if they've had those beliefs for so long. And so like you could talk about liking Donald Trump for his like policies and what kind of president he is, but I think at the end of the day, if you like continue the conversation long enough, it's going to come down to like those core beliefs that like each party identifies with, and that's at the end of the day like the reason that like they don't like each other, if that
interesting. Yeah, I feel like 50, 70 years ago, people had that same kind of stubbornness and values, but they didn't hate each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, there's so much tension now. Like I don't understand, like, and I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm old enough to be more aware of like politics. I'm only 18, so like I'm fairly, new to all this. But like when I was a kid, I don't remember like there being so much hostility like towards Obama, and I don't even remember who he was running against, to be honest, because I was a kid. But like I don't remember it being so divided like that. I remember there being people who shared their opinions, but it was never like if you like Obama, like you're a bad person, or if you like the other candidate, like
You're an idiot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, these name calling things is yeah, it's really tearing our country apart, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this channel in the first place is to hear, like I'm waiting for the day where I come across a Ku Klux Klan member and like, yeah, because
yeah,
because what's important is actually to sit down and listen to understand where they're coming from. Like I
yeah,
bet you, I mean,
yeah.
I'm not justifying their views, but I'm saying like we need to approach people from an empathetic perspective to listen, to not react to them, but to listen, to understand where they're coming from. And I think that if we do that, that's a way forward. You know what I mean?
And like to build on that, like if you meet like a Ku Klux Klan member and like automatically like shut them down, like yes, they're a racist, but if you say that, like you're like if you're like hostile towards them, like you're never gonna understand why they feel that way or be able to change their opinion. Like you have to approach them and be like, well, I hear what you're saying, but this is why like it's not right. Like it's not morally correct to have those beliefs, just because like there's a difference between like having an opinion on like abortion and then having an opinion on a person should live for the color of their skin, but you can't make that progress and help them like develop past this negative mindset if you just come at them with anger. Like
That's
you
right.
have to like I don't agree with their opinion, but it's not going to be fixed in one day, for one, and then for two, like you can't fix it with anger because they're just going to shoot back with anger, and then they're going to remember that and be like, the last time someone tried to convince me, they were so rude and I don't even want to listen to anyone again, and like that kind of
Right,
mindset.
right. And like on the flip side, just bouncing off of what you're saying, that if you approach it with kind of like an open ear and an open mind and just listen to see like maybe there's something in there that kind of like they think it makes sense, but if you're like listening to understand and then you actually speak with them about it, like bounce ideas with them, that maybe that can help change their mind,
Yeah.
and they'll think, oh my gosh, like maybe I should talk to more people because that's how I learned, that's how and
I feel like it's not really the same thing, but it's kind of like how I guess like violent, like a lot of like the left slogans sound, like ACAB and stuff like that. Like a lot of people don't want to listen to that because it sounds so violent and it like immediately shuts them down. But like if you
what is
take
that? Wait, what is the ACAB?
it means all cops are bastards or all cops are bad.
Oh,
Basically, it's in like what the actual meaning of the saying is that all cops, like, they are not necessarily bad people, but they all work for an inherently unjust system that's built on systemic racism. So, your uncle could be a cop and be the nicest guy in the world, but he chose to work for a system that is like inherently racist against people of different colors. And you can see that, like, people can try to argue that it's not true, but you can see it through the disproportionate killing of black people. Like, people will always say there's more white people being killed, but that's because they have a bigger population. If you look at the numbers, black people are killed 3 times as more as white people.
yeah, in terms of like percentage, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then like there's always more cops based in like more urban neighborhoods where more black people live and things like that. And like, you don't see as many cops like in the nicer neighborhoods and stuff like that where the white people live. And like black neighborhoods are like over policed, so of course there's going to be higher rates of crime. And then a lot of the time, like, the white perpetrators, like, they can get off with it because the cops like see them as white and less violent and they just let it go, and like it's those kind of things that kind of justify the ACAB saying. But a lot of people just hear all cops are bastards and be like, that's not true, you can't, you're gonna sit here and say that it's racist to like someone could say that it's like, I'm scared of black people. Like, that's a racist statement because you can't say that a person is inherently more violent just for the color of their skin. But then you're saying that all cops are, like, they see it as you're saying all cops are bad just for their position. So it kind of looks like the same, but if you take time to delve into what the ACAB actually means, it's not equivalent.
Yeah, I feel like those acronyms are like very dangerous because it's just so simplifying, right? Like,
Yeah.
and it's trying to say something simply that about an issue that is anything but simple. And in fact, like the idea of saying all cops are bad is just making its own system itself that is just like painting everyone with a broad brush of, of I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's just anything that kind of paints people in a with broad brushstrokes is dangerous.
Yeah. The generalization,
but
yeah.
the sentiment behind it is progressive, you
Mhm.
know. And so I think we need to figure out a way to I don't know. We need to figure something out. But
Yeah, it's like same thing with like the Black Lives Matter. Like so many people will be like, all lives matter, but they're not saying Black Lives Matter more. They're just saying that they matter. Like that's included in all lives. But if someone like broke their leg and you're standing here with your friend and a paramedic comes up to you and tries to give you attention, you're not gonna say like, yeah,
yeah,
give me the attention.
what about me? Yeah.
The guy with a broken leg. Like that's what it means. It's saying we're putting attention on the people who need the help the most. And right now, all lives don't need the help the most. What needs the help the most is the Black lives.
Ashton, thank you for this. Thank you for taking time away from your friends and yeah, you're so articulate and so well versed on all this stuff. I hope that a lot of people watch this and learn something from it because yeah.
I hope so too. I'd love to kind of share what I feel is, just in our society and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Ash, yeah, thank you again, and yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna post this on my channel. It'll be up in like 5 minutes. So
Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, thanks again.
No problem. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.